Hi again. I'm sorry if I have been gone for a while. I had a lot of things to do, my job and anything else. And I also try to take care of my driving license so I will be able to get it and even make sure that I can actually move out from the house. That's my goal. Because I'm so fucking tired to live here and just want to move out. That's the only thing I want. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about is COVID-19 and Vladimir Putin and the people around. But I think I start with COVID-19. As you remember from beginning when COVID-19 were unleashed, spreading everywhere, and people who actually were there, the COVID-19 were, we all were afraid, of course. Well, okay, except for those who maybe neglect and thinking that's just story. But it wasn't. And people who actually were isolated all the time and so on and didn't have any great time at all. But here's the thing, I'm still getting angry yet today because of whatever everybody have suffer from. I'm not talking about only about to be infected by COVID-19. I mean literally the way Donald J. Trump justify by blaming China. What made me mad was that day when he said China virus. Even if he accused China to create virus, he on the other hand could just be careful. Why not call it COVID-19 instead for China virus? Or maybe coronavirus instead. But that man have no insecure thing inside him. Instead, blasting. And the way he talk is more like we should persecute people around the world on other hands. And I get it to that. But I want to mention two things. The reason to why I am still pissed on him because of his language to each and any innocent people, especially when it comes to Asian. Oh. And as you know, you don't know exactly where I am, and you don't know exactly what kind of color or whatever I am. Like I said, I don't like to show who I am. I can tell you one thing at least when it comes to me. Well, I'm an equalist. I am a lacto-ovo vegetarian. I am an animal activist. I am a climate activist. And I love nature and animals and other creatures in earth equally. Nothing to hide. I hate when it comes to those people who will destroy each and anyone. I will always stand between everybody, no matter what. If they are men or women, men or women. No, wait, hold on. Men, women, and other genders as well. And when I say other genders, I mean everybody who are listed. Even those who are not listed yet. But we will understand who will be later, of course. However, there is only one thing I have never mentioned early. The only thing I want to tell, at least. Like I said, I'm angry when it comes to Donald J. Trump because of his own accusation. But here's the thing. We don't know if COVID-19 coming from China. But of course, even if we know states blame other states as well, the point is, each and any citizen in the country who really think that one ethnicity or maybe a community will get blamed for which country it's come from. The day when they blame it China, they believe that all Asian is to blame too. But here's the thing people never understood. If that's so, that China is guilty, why not blame the state and not the citizen? Citizens have nothing with the COVID-19 to do. Only the state, on the other hand, are the one to do it. People around the world could have understand. You blame the state when the state doing wrong, not the citizen of China. The same goes for everybody who are Asian. Not everybody are from China, but they got blamed as well. And I'm shocked. Well, okay, I was shocked. But I wasn't surprised because there were a lot of things who actually were playing in same direction. For example, when it comes to Ebola, I think it was 2014 or 2015. We all people start to talk and was thinking, okay, why Ebola? Suddenly, many Africans were blamed, well, especially few of them. I didn't hear a lot of things when I was traveling in Sweden. Well, not exactly, but if you come to a big town like Stockholm or maybe Göteborg, whatever they call the town, they on the other hand could be loud and saying, well, you have Ebola, get out from the country. I'm talking about another dude who were actually standing on the line for paying food and so on. I had a grocery myself, but I couldn't notice to hear how exactly loud this person were. The same goes for few of them who actually mention about that they got blamed for just this kind of thing. Sometimes I believe there is a lot of idiots around who never considering that when it comes to the state, they are the one to blame because they don't take the actions. But here's the thing, I'm still surprised when it comes to Denmark. As you remember, swine influenza HN1, the virus, 2009, or was it 2008, I guess. That time, everybody, well, we didn't hear a lot in this case. It wasn't so much. Because I was in California that day before I was actually traveling to France, in Paris. But I heard at least one person maybe slamming Denmark, especially those who were from Denmark. But not so much. So which countries have been blamed for all of it? Well, we have only heard that states, on other hands, have blamed Denmark, on other hands, where we're fighting each other for just this kind of case. But everybody was ready to defend it, of course. Or not defending, I mean, how could I explain this? They, on other hands, found a way to discuss, even if there were a problem. Yes. Sometimes there were kind of nothing, no blaming, exactly, except for few people who maybe have been slamming because they were from Denmark. But the virus were dealt, so no problem at all. Except for the vaccine actually didn't work that day. So yeah, I understand. But Ebola, on the other hands, were something we couldn't understand. Like I said, it was epidemic that day. I don't know how HN1 were. Was it also maybe someone who maybe have died on it? Well, not so many, but perhaps few people did it around the world, as I remember. But rest of the people could handle it. When Ebola came, well, it was little more than HD1. And that was worse, but not all the time. But there were a lot of people who actually died in Africa, as I remember, from that country the Ebola came from. I think it was in the middle of Africa, which I don't remember which country it was. Then we had COVID-19 between two individuals, or maybe two states, who fight each other by telling who were the one who actually unleashed the COVID-19. And that was the propaganda everywhere, that everybody slammed everyone who came from an Asian country, except to thinking that it was only one country, on the other hand, who had the COVID-19. But here's the thing, I don't blame China. I don't know exactly if that is from China. Perhaps it's maybe from where we live, in United States of America. I don't know. Or maybe the military were maybe someone to accuse. But again, none of us know exactly where COVID-19 comes from. And no matter if that comes from China, we shall never blame people on other hands. We shall only blame the state. or shut our mouth and reason with each other to find a solution to eliminate COVID-19. So everywhere in the world, I have seen many Asians get blamed, slammed by other people, punished by other people around the world. Perhaps not in few countries, like I don't know how it was in Australia. I guess they were more silent there than others, of course. I don't think Africans care about the virus, so yeah, I don't think that. But I'm more surprised when it comes to USA. That every people in every community, except for maybe youths, who maybe saw it on different way. They didn't slam Asian American, but I'm surprised that many of them did it. But not everyone from the communities did it exactly, but a majority of them, especially someone who used to spread the disinformation. Donald Trump is one of them. And then we have QAnon, as you know, who actually slamming everybody and are the reason to why many Asians have died unnecessary. Again, why not blame the state? And since we don't know exactly if this is the state, then blame someone, then stop blaming anyone. The only thing we can do is to fight the COVID-19 together, no matter if we are vaccinated or not. But so long we follow the guidance, of course, whether we want to vaccinate or not, or are already vaccinated or not, we shall actually use protection, use the mask, and of course, have a distance from each other. Stay away from each other. No hugging, no kissing, nothing. And especially not sex. Not in COVID-19. That's something as we all need to think of. Alright, that was done. Now I go over to Russia. And Ukraine, of course. As you know, Russians have maybe been slammed again for what's happening. But this time was never Russian self. This time were the states who used to fight each other for who actually created the war. As you know, Russia, on the other hand, have a dictator, and the dictator, on the other hand, is what was his name again? Vladimir Putin. Oh yes, I said Putin and not Putin, like some people saying. Well, okay. Anyway, Vladimir Putin, the guy who actually liked to fight and never back down a fight. The guy who neglect everybody's warning, no matter what. No matter how many people who actually accusing him. He, on the other hand, turn his head away. He never care about someone or something. He called him communist, but I doubt that. I think he's more like a capitalist who actually hiding money and slamming other people, stealing money. So yeah, how can he call himself communist if he wanted to have the money for himself? He's more like a spoiled brat as a capitalist. Yes, real communists would actually share their value with each other, just like the Marxists, man. Where we maybe hear from others who maybe think that they know communists. They don't know. Because real communists share value with each other. No one is owner to each other. But the only problem is when you're letting someone who have, think again. You can be a democratic communist and a dictator communist. The same way it goes from capitalists as well. I'm not talking about here in America. I'm talking about other countries who maybe are controlled by the capitalists who are corrupt. Think. Those dictators who once lived died. And they were capitalists. You have few of them who live in Africa. One of them at least was, what was his name again? Robert Mugabe something? I don't remember exactly. However, Mugabe. That was the thing. Robert Mugabe. I don't know exactly if he was a capitalist or something else. But I remember this. The day he took over the power, he slammed everybody except for his own people. But even he showed that he was a stupid man who refused to share with everybody and took money for himself. He even killed people and slammed everybody in the face. That was him. Well, Donald J. Trump, on the other hand, have not go over like Robert Mugabe, but it's the close enough, especially when it comes to taking money from himself and do something what he wants to do. Like paying the taxes with all those cash who wasn't his, or paying the bills of his own company. We got actually a president who paid and stole money. An ex-president, I said. Well, that's the thing. But back to the thing about Putin. The day when Putin started his own war against Ukraine, I was surprised that he could actually go so low. But here's the thing I react on. For once, I have heard that people never blame Russian citizens. And that's something you never hear for some times, because people used to slam everybody in the face for those who are actually from a country that they maybe declare war against another country. Take for example, back in the Germany, World War II, you had a lot of nationalists, but that's because they followed their own supreme leader. They wanted to have same idea like their supreme leader. But those who didn't want it to, they got slammed as well. And that's the problem. People who accuse other people for that. The same goes from few countries like Cuba and Japan. For example, a lot of Japans who actually live in United States of America are still being slammed by the American people who keep judging them for nothing wrong, meaning the citizen getting punished for what the state have done. And it still exists. But I'm surprised that when it comes to the Russian citizen, for once, someone have at least tell their story that they don't want war. The only one who maybe want war is especially the pro-Russians and the nationalists. The nationalists are actually the stupid one who always declare war and follow the supreme leader without thinking otherwise. But those people who neglect the war and doesn't want to have war and are against the war, but from Russia anyway, they are the one who actually for once got the voice. They don't want to be just like the Russian people, like Vladimir Putin. On the other hand, I think the reason is that because we have seen a lot of things years with him. People who have still no justice at all. For all those years they have told exactly how they experienced with the president. That's the reason maybe we have this kind of thing. People shall never, those citizens who live in Russia should never be blamed. And yeah, that's the thing. I'm actually surprised. I kind of think it's really awesome that this time they thinking. Here in the United States of America, you hear few of them who talking about that. And I hope for once that we never blame those people who actually have a Russian background. I hope we can show for once our friendship for once. Never blame the citizen, only the state. That's the thing I want to learn. That's the thing I want to give the knowledge to all people around. And I hope one day that we all can come together. And I hope there will be a generation where all people can try to understand each other, that there is no one's fault. It's just something happening when it's the state's fault. Blame the state. Try to reason with them. Use the logic and reason, not violence. A lot of death have happening. But here's the thing, I'm still also pissed off. When it comes to few of the countries, when it comes to Ukraine who actually have left the country, some of them trying to get their lives, cope with their lives. Yet they haven't get the justice as they deserve. Especially for those countries who actually keep neglecting them. Sorry. I'm a little sad now because of this thing. No, like I said, this is actually not okay. Why should all people get, how should I say, slammed because of something happening on the world? Especially when you're an immigrant to come into the country because you needed to change whatever comes from you. You need to reach your goal, take care of your child and so on. Yet you get You get banned or maybe sent back to the war again because of one government who have no understanding how the country works. Or the worst part, the law is still there. Send back all the immigrants, as they are used to say. Go back to the country you come from. What kind of monsters think like that? I mean, if we were in the war, of course, I understand this thing that most of us just want to get out of there and yet facing the danger. But if we would actually move out, maybe we will test how it is to be an immigrant somewhere else. Even if we're going to talk about how we took care of the immigrants. The problem though is that there's many of them who keep slamming other individuals, even here in the United States of America. And that's a sad faction in my case. Anyway, that's all I have to say. And I only hope that Ukraine will keep defending. Vladimir Putin is the one to blame. The one who considering himself communist, but in my eyes, he is a real greedy capitalist to dictator. That's what he is. Anyway, I hope there will be peace again, and I hope that every Ukrainian will be safe, even if we know exactly what's going to happen. But I hope I'm wrong. Anyway, have a nice day. Peace out. Bye bye.